only 4 games remaining on the season. If you were to look back at the season that has been, how would you assess the progress of your team?
Yeah, it's kind of been up and down, a lot of growing pains for sure. I think we're beginning to play our best football towards the end of the season, creating a lot of chances and passing the ball pretty well. So that's encouraging to see. It's just trying to continue to emphasize to the players that we need to play simple football in the right areas of the pitch and then take more chances towards their goal. But it's easier said than done, but as we've seen over the season. But credit to the players, they're starting to grasp it over the last little bit, and hopefully that can continue. It's the good thing is that we've competed against most teams. And not too many days we've had off days where we just weren't at the races. I can only think of a couple of occasions. Rochester at home when they beat us 2-0. Louisville City on the road was another bad one that we didn't compete on the day, but outside of that, through the 24 games, it's been encouraging.
So is it just a matter of experience, being able to put together a full 90-minute performance?
Yeah, the concentration levels that is required at the professional game, and the higher you go, is of the utmost importance. And that's where we've let ourselves down on occasion, where it's just a lack of concentration. It hasn't been teams that have been slicing through you, where they were just clearly the better team. Only on a couple of occasions, as I've said, but other than that, it's been ourselves in games, and then a lack of concentration here and there, and that makes the difference at this level and higher. So it's something that we keep preaching to the players, and hopefully they can learn from that as we move forward.
Through first-team call-ups, academy players have had the opportunity to seize those moments where Phillips perhaps put on one of his best performances, his first debut with TFC too. How would you assess his game?
Yeah, for a young kid coming through the academy, that was his second game and he scores 2 goals. But outside of the goals, I liked his movement off the ball. He was strong in possession, understood when to link the play and bring others into the game. That's vitally critical for strikers, any strikers, to be able to bring others into the game. So I was more impressed with that, to be honest with you. 2 goals always help, but fair play to him. He's took his chance, and he's going to get his chance again tomorrow, so that's encouraging to see.
Even more the resiliency of the team to dig themselves out of a hole, the own goal only a minute in practically.
Yeah, we've had 2 occasions this season where we've let ourselves down within the first 30 seconds of a game. I remember St. Louis, we had a poor pass out from Bono, which resulted in a goal. And then this weekend we had Wesley Sharpley that made a mistake that caused another goal after 10 seconds. So it's not good for my heart. It's not good for the gray hairs, as you can see. But the team rebounded and showed good character in both occasions and came from behind to win the game. So strength of resilience is important as well.
Wednesday you take on Charlotte Independence, a team you've met previously. They're right on the fringe of making the playoffs. What would it mean to this team to spoil those aspirations for them?
Yeah, we said to the players this morning in the video session that it's going to be a tough game, but it's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere. I spoke to Mike Jeffries last week when he was here, and he said it's probably one of the better pitches in the league. It's a grass pitch with a good little crowd, nice little atmosphere can be expected. So our boys will have to be up for it, and it's not so much about spoiling their playoff aspirations. It's more about us continuing to play the way that we've been playing over the last 3-4 games. And if we can reproduce that, we give ourselves a good chance of taking 3 points.
What are your expectations for these last 4 games of the season now?
To win, to perform, and also to test players in this environment, because players are still playing for their positions, playing for contracts, and it's important that we know exactly what's coming through the pipeline in competitive games. So young players will continue to get a chance, as they have all season, and I'm looking forward to it.
And the last game against Charlotte ended really in a penalty shot that saw you guys tie. What do you guys do? Are you going to take that as more of a motivation for the game tomorrow?
I think the players need to just understand that, yes, we're trying to develop players, and that's first and foremost, but when you're in position to win games late, that's part of your development as well as young players, knowing how to close out games, get over that finish line. It was good to see that from 7 days prior to the game against Montreal, that they were able to get over the finish line and get the 3 points, and that's very, very important for their development. So I think we can take some things from that last game. We dominated the game, we created a lot of chances, but we need to find ways to ultimately win the game. Patrick's logic is a threat off set pieces, so we have to address that and make sure that we shut that down. But ultimately, it's a good test for us.
And speaking about development, Simonin and Chapman and even Hamilton got minutes for the first team. Yes. How would you rate their performance?
Yeah, I watched the game. I thought Clemont, for the most part, did pretty well. His possession of the ball and his pass selection was quite good for the most part. Defensively, he did most things well. Let's be honest, he was up against two very, very good players, and that's the strength of Seattle's team. I think he started to tire towards the end, which is why I'm pretty sure Greg Vanney took him off. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty good performance, not just from him, but the whole first team.
Those players you mentioned, are they available for selection against Charlotte?
Clemont will not be available, neither will Jordan Hamilton. He'll be remaining back here, but we will take Chris Manella with us. And Jay Chapman will stay with the first team.